So tell me, which technique, what did you try? What worked for you?
Well, and I was going to write this down because I didn't want to forget it. I got up and he was already up and he had made coffee. Now, the coffee, I have a 5-cup coffee maker.
Okay.
He put in enough coffee for a 12-cup and only used 3 cups of water.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, okay, I'm not going to say anything because he normally doesn't make coffee. I don't ask him to do that.
Oh, okay.
My first reaction was, you put in too much coffee and you didn't put in enough water. And why are you doing this anyway? Because you're not supposed to be messing with, the kitchen stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
I caught myself and I walked up to him and I said, I see you made coffee. He says, oh, did I? Oh, yeah, I guess I did. I said, thank you very much for making that coffee. That was so thoughtful of you. And I just poured me a half a cup of coffee and a half a cup of hot water. Oh, and I thought,
And how did
okay.
that make you feel?
Well, it made both of us feel really good. He got this big smile on his face. And I'm like, he just needs to be appreciated. We had a good day, a good
So
rest.
now that's fantastic. Isn't that
Yeah,
fantastic?
that is fantastic. I just kind of went away smiling and I thought, oh my gosh, this is not that hard. I just have to catch myself.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and the next day he was dressed all cockeyed, and I'm like, you know what? We're not going anywhere. Don't say nothing. It don't matter.
Exactly. And so you said that after that coffee experience, you went on to have a good day.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's all it boils down to, right? Is having more good days.
Yeah, it just set the tone, I guess, because he's starting to have obvious brain damage. So I'm the one that needs to change because he's not going to be able to.
Well put. Very well put. And don't you think it's kind of amazing that after one day you've had those successes?
Yes. Yes. Um, I was very pleased. I couldn't wait till the next class.
So it was interesting that, as soon as you noticed that he had kind of done it wrong, you stopped and you paused, right? And you took a moment.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't right there in the room. I mean, he had gotten up before me and had his breakfast. He had some cold cereal and then he made the obviously must have made coffee. But then I think he was like off in the bathroom and I got up and I saw that the coffee was made and I had a moment to just, oh my gosh, I can't believe he did. Okay, stop. Time out. How are you going to handle this? So by the time he came out of the bathroom, then I was collected. I may not always have that time to time out. So I was thankful that I did.
Right. But remember, they're on a delay, so you do have time.
Okay. Yeah.
Even though we feel it's awkward, but we do still have time to think before we say.
Yeah.
Now,
20 seconds.
in that moment when you were kind of like, all right, wait, time out. Were you thinking in your head what we talked about, like, will this statement knock him down, make him smile, promote self-dignity? Will it uplift him? Were you kind of thinking, if
I
I
think
say this, it's going to knock him down, so I have to come up with something different?
I think I was subconsciously, yeah. Yeah, because I
Yeah.
was thinking about how is this going to make him feel? How can I build him up, not tear him down?
Yes. Yes. So that is, you did exactly exactly the right thing. That was perfect. So instead of being like, hey, you know what? You forgot to put in, you didn't put in enough water, or hey, you put in too many grounds. You thanked him for making the coffee.
Yeah, just make, yeah. Yeah.
Thanks for making the coffee. I
Because,
appreciate it. So nice of you to do that for me this morning.
yep. And I,
And
even after the fact, I thought, even if I did tell him he didn't use enough coffee but he's not going to remember that.
right,
Going to remember how to make it.
right.
I just fixed it without telling him or showing him, or he didn't pick up on that. But
And you know what else is really interesting, Lyndon? We haven't covered this yet, but people with dementia, I hear people all the time say, well, it doesn't even really matter if I yell at them or say something nasty because they're not going to remember it in a few minutes. Right. And that sounds rational. But what happens is for a person with brain damage, they won't remember the particular incident. Maybe they might not,
yeah,
because the more awful the incident, the more it is actually burned into their long-term memory. But even if they don't remember the actual like words or the situation that happened, they remember the feelings, and the feelings last a lot longer. So like for hours they could be upset. They don't know really why they're upset, but they're upset and they don't feel good.
yeah, yeah. And see, I don't want to set that kind of a day for him or I.
Right. Right. Oh, bravo, Linda. I'm so
Oh,
proud of you. You are doing everything spot on.